Okay, so before going to start the next topic, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, no question. So what is the Selenium WebDriver? Who will explain?
It is a tool for the automation testing.
Okay. So which type of application supported by the Selenium WebDriver?
Java type applications.
Sorry?
Java and Python, Ruby's all programming language.
Okay, okay. So as we discussed, this will support multiple programming language, right? Multiple programming language means we can use these programming language to write the test script. Like here we are using Java.
Hello?
Right?
Can you share your
Hello?
screen? Yeah, can you share your screen?
Yes, let me share. So like we discussed, multiple programming language, right? It support multiple programming language. It means we can write the test case, right, in these programming language. But I am talking which type of application it support. Which type of application we can automate by using the Selenium WebDriver.
It's a web application.
Yes, web application. So using the Selenium WebDriver, we can automate the web-based application, like any application which run on the browser. Clear? If anything which is not part of the web, not part of the HTML content, we cannot handle by using Selenium WebDriver. So this is the technical limitation of the Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver will work only for the web-based application. Okay. If we want to test the API, it will not work. Right? We cannot use this library. If we want to automate any desktop-based application, desktop-based application means the application which we need to install in our system. Like this is a notepad, right? This is not running on the browser. This is the desktop application. So we cannot automate this. We cannot click on the file. We can using Selenium or Vue. It will not work, right? So Selenium WebDriver we can use only to automate the web-based application. Clear? Can we use the Selenium WebDriver to run on the Windows machine, Mac machine, and Linux machine? It will support or not?
Yes.
Yes, it will support. For scripting means when we are writing the test, right? Here we are writing the Selenium test. So this is known as, we can say this is the scripting, means our test script we can write in which programming language? Java, Python, Ruby, Perl, PHP. Okay, we can use this programming language to write the test cases. So it means Selenium WebDriver support multiple programming language to write the test script. How many browsers supported by the Selenium WebDriver? Multiple browsers, right? We can write the test on the and execute the test on Chrome browser, Firefox browser, Edge browser, IE browser, okay, Safari browser. So we can run the test. Okay. So what is the first statement we need to write? We need to use for the Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So Selenium WebDriver will provide the driver exes for each browser. First step, we need to set up the path in properties using the system.setProperty, okay, corresponding key like WebDriver Chrome driver, WebDriver Gecko driver. Similar type we have WebDriver Edge driver, okay, and then we need to pass the path of the executable. Okay. If this is the Windows, so for Windows we have .exe. For Mac, we have different files which we need to download manually. But if we want to set up this without manually, then yes, there is an option, WebDriverManager. We can use the WebDriverManagers, and WebDriverManager will automatically handle the browser's exe. Okay, driver's exe. It will download if not exist in the local system and make available for our test script. It will also help if the browser version is updated. It will check the browser, which browser version is installed in the local system. Okay, and then it will download the driver exe which is compatible with our browser. You don't need to maintain this manually. Okay, so this is the benefit of the driver exe. Once the driver exe is set up using the WebDriverManager or using the system.set property. Okay, then we can create the browser object. Browser object means if we are using the Chrome, then we need to use the Chrome driver object. If we are using the Firefox, then we can create Firefox object. Just simple. Similar type, if we want to run this on Edge browser, then we can call Edge driver Edge driver. Okay, and this is the Edge driver for exe setup. Either we can download and set up the path like here we did for the Chrome and Firefox, or we can call the WebDriverManager dot edge driver dot setup. Okay, we can do that. Now if I run the test, it will launch the Edge browser and run the test. You can see Edge browser is launched here, and it clicked create new account button. Pop-up is opened. Enter these names, mobile number, selected the date of birth 10 June 2022. Right? So in this way, we can run the test on different browsers. Which browser we want to run, we need to set up, we need to create the browser object. Clear? Or any question?
Sadik, we set 3 objects for 3 different browsers. Why did it choose the Edge driver specifically?
One time we need to run only one browser, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
And
Here we set up, because this is not launching the browser. This is just maintaining the setup exe, right? Executable file. But here, if I launch the Chrome browser, then we need to run Chrome browser. You cannot run, you can run parallel, but there is a different approach we need to do, right? But this driver object we are using here, you can see, we are calling method. So if I uncomment this like this, then this is not possible. We can create the name, same name for all the 3. We need to create a different name, right? And that's why I commented here, because name is same name we are using here down. Driver.navigate, driver.this, right? So that's why we are creating only one. Because remaining step is common for all the browsers.
Clear, thank you.
We can run one test parallel on 3 browsers, sequence on 3 browsers, but there is some approach we need to implement. I will show you later. Okay, how we run parallel, how we run the test sequence in the multiple browsers. Okay, this is clear, or any doubts, any questions anyone had? Okay, let me move the next. Okay, so one test created, set up the WebDriver, okay, using the WebDriverManager. Then here creating the Chrome driver object. So this code will launch the browser. Next, I'm navigating the URL. Okay, so here you can see I added the thread.sleep, right? To wait the page open, means pop-up is open. We added here 3-second wait. But as I told in the last session, we are not using the thread.sleep. Why not sleep using? Because suppose that here I added the 3 seconds wait. It means it will pause the execution up to 3 seconds. After the 3 seconds, next code will continue running, right? So suppose that when it click on the create new account button and the pop-up is open, means pop-up window, sign up window is open, suppose that in 1 second. That is taking time in only 1 second. But we are using here 3-second wait. So it will wait unnecessary 2 more seconds, right? Because pop-up is appeared in 1 second. Now why should it wait 2 seconds? Because this is unnecessary waiting, right? So that's why we are not using thread.sleep. So because it will pause the execution. Okay, so what we are using here, so Selenium WebDriver will provide 2 types of wait. One is the explicit wait, second is the implicit wait. Implicit wait if we are using, that will be applied throughout the execution. How we apply the implicit wait? So just call the driver dot manage dot timeout dot implicit wait. Okay, and then we need to call here duration dot off. There are multiple options, right? We can set off hours, day, milliseconds, at what time we are going to show. So let me set here the seconds, off seconds, right? So here suppose that I am passing 30 seconds. So this is the maximum 30 seconds it will wait. Okay, but if the element like page, which page this is looking, the element, if that is appeared in the 1 second, then it will not wait unnecessary 29 seconds. Suppose that we are passing here 10 seconds. So this is the maximum wait time. So it will wait up to 10 seconds. But if element is appeared in 1 second, then it will not wait 9 more seconds. It will move the next step. Okay. So this is one benefit, because it will not wait unnecessary if the element is appeared. So if I add here, so TestNG will also generate the report. Okay, you can see this is the total time taken when we executed using thread.sleep. Okay, now I'm going to remove this and going to add the wait. Let me run. Okay, execution done. Let me open again the report. Now you can see it's taken only 7,000 milliseconds, but earlier it was taking 34 milliseconds. You can see because we were using the thread.sleep, that was unnecessary waiting, because thread.sleep paused the execution for given time. Okay, then it will proceed then it will continue the next step. But if we are using the driver.manage, that implicit wait provided by the Selenium WebDriver, so it will wait up to the element is appeared. The time what we are passing, this is the maximum time. Suppose that element is taking more time, it will appear 9 seconds, right? So it will wait up to 10 seconds. Suppose that if that is taking 20 seconds, right? So it will not go and wait 20 seconds. It will wait up to 10 seconds. If element is not appeared, then it will fail. Okay, so this is the maximum time. But what is the minimum time? Minimum time is when the element is appeared. Okay, so which one is better, implicit wait or thread.sleep? Implicit wait, right? Because it will, if we are using implicit wait, our execution is go faster. So if we are running the one test, this is not, there is no issue, right? But if we are running 1000 tests, 500 test cases, right? Suppose that is taking 9 hours to execute, and we are using frequently, we are using thread.sleep. In that case, it will impact much, right? Maybe if we have removed the thread.sleep, we can reduce 30 minutes execution. So better we can use the thread implicit wait, okay, until we required. In some cases we need, okay, so in that case we can use, otherwise we always ignore the thread.sleep. Implicit wait is clear or not? How it will work? If we are using implicit wait, means implicit wait will apply throughout the driver object. Means initially if I added the 10 seconds, so now in the down for each and every element, it will wait up to 10 seconds. But if the element is appeared before that, it will continue. But if element is not appearing, taking time, then it will wait maximum to 10 seconds, because we are passing here 10. If we want to increase this, we can increase. So now this is the maximum 30 seconds. Okay. Now added one implicit wait. Okay. If I run the test, you can see the browser is not maximized. Okay. This is not the maximized. If I click on this, it will maximize. Okay. So Selenium WebDriver will provide the option. Using that option, we can maximize the browser as well as we can set up the browser size. Okay, so this will maximize the window and your window will be in the full screen. So what is the method? driver.manage.window.maximize. You can see now it will open the full screen. There is an option we can set also the size of the window. Okay, if we don't want to maximize, we want some sections. okay, some size, then we can define also using the set.size. Next, suppose that we open the browser, okay, and then we want to verify the title of the page. In some cases, we require to verify the title of the page. We are getting correct titles or not. Okay. In that case, we have a function here, driver.getTitle methods. So you should remember all these methods names.
Sir, explicitly wait you didn't explain to.
Yeah, implicit wait, this is implicit wait. Explicit wait, I will explain.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is the title. If we want to get the title of the page, okay, we can use that like this. Okay, so if I go here, you will see the message, right? This is printed. Facebook login or sign up. This is printed. Now, this is we are just printing here, but in automation, we will not print. You can print, that is not issue. But for verification point, it should be automatically verified. If this is not exactly what we are expecting, then our test should be failed. So how we verify? So use the assert dot assert equal, right? We have already discussed the TestNG assert method, where we can pass the expected value and the actual value. Actual value we are getting from here, right? We have already discussed the assertions. There are two types of assertion in the Selenium WebDriver, soft and hard. Okay, which one you prefer, you can use based on the requirement. Okay, so now if I run the test and if the title is mismatched, then it will fail. Okay, done. No issue. Next, sometimes we are navigating the applications, right? And we need to verify some portion in the URL. Okay, like suppose that I click on forget button and I want to verify some values here in the URL, then how we do that? So right click, get the locator first, but we need to create a locator of the forget password link. So inspect this, click on the pointer, click on the forget button. Okay, now what we are seeing here, this is the A tag, only one attribute it has, and this is very long, right, text. So what we can go with a different approach. /A. So if I go only A/A tag, then we have 46 tag, right? But we need forget password. And if I look here, there is only one attribute is available, and this is some kind of dynamic things, right? So what we can do, we can use the text. What text we are seeing here, we can use this to create the locators. Okay, so how we do that? So just go and add the square bracket here, and then if we need attribute, then here we need @. But we are not using attribute, we are using text. The text which are coming between the opening tag and closing tag. So this the text is coming here. Copy this tag and in a square bracket use the text bracket equal to comma single quote, right? And then close single quote after the text and then close the square bracket. So you can see here the text xpath is created. Okay, locator of the forgotten password is created by using the text. And we can see here 1 of 1. So this is the XPath. And let me now use this XPath to click on the element. Driver.findElement by.XPath. This. We can store this because this is returning the Webelement object. We can store in Webelement object, then using that object we can click, or directly we can use the call here the click method. Both are same. Okay. Then once it click on link, then we need to verify something on the URL. Okay. So for that we have method driver.getCurrentURL. This will return the current URL of the application. Let me print here. For verification, we will use the asserts. Yes, click on the link and you will see here the current URL is printed. This is the current URL. So sometime if we need to get the current URL of the application for verification point of view or some other points, so what method we will call? We will call the getCurrentURL methods, and it will return the value and store in a URL variable. Clear? If we want to get the title, if we want to read the title using Selenium WebDriver, we will call the driver.getTitle methods. Clear? Or do you have any question? Yeah, any question? Any doubts?
Yeah, here you have used that facebook.com. If we will use some other website,
Yeah, here we are using say Facebook, right? So we are navigating the Facebook. You mean the title?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, the
Mhm.
URL, you are here using the driver.navigate to HTTP facebook.com. If you will
Yeah.
use some other website, then
You will pass here the different website URL. Which application you are going to test, you need to pass here.
okay.
Like suppose that in real what you will do, you will open the browser, right? You will then navigate the URL. Which URL you are going to test. That is your application, right? You will
Yeah.
navigate the URL. Like here I am going to navigate the facebook.com. So manually, so that's why here first step will launch the browser, navigate the URL. If you are going to test, suppose that XYZ application, then you will need here URL of XYZ application.
And the Windows maximize, all these things will be
Yeah,
like the same.
this will be same, but rest will be different.
Okay.
If you want to get the title, if you want to log in the application, you need to locator of the login, input field, password field, and click login button. Then you need to automate those steps, not this.
Okay.
But the method you will same. Driver.findElement, pass the locator of the login button, login input field, right? User input field. Then you will call the .sendKeys method, pass the username, right? Next, again driver.findElement, pass the locator of the password button, password input box, then use the sendKeys. Then third steps, you will call the driver.findElement, you will pass the locator of your login button, then .click method. So in this way, you will automate.
Okay.
Explain me
Okay.
please, one more time get method. Why you are
Sorry?
using? Please, can you explain me again the get method why you are using?
Which get method? Get title. This get title, right?
Sir, thank you.
No, I could not get your question. You are saying get title, get current URL, or what is your question?
Yes,
Hello?
get title, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Like suppose that basically in the Selenium WebDriver, what we are going to learn, right? We will learn different functions, and when required in your test cases, in any test cases, then we will use that method. Because if we are familiar, right? If we are familiar how we verify the title of the applications, then in Selenium WebDriver you will call the get title methods, because get title method will return and you can use that get title methods to verify the title of the page. Okay, so why we are using here get title? Get title we are using to read the title of the applications. Okay, like suppose that you are going to test the facebook.com. Okay, how you will make sure when you navigated the URL, your page is open correctly? How you know? So manually you will look the page, right? You will look the page and then you can see here. But when we are running in automation way, right, we need some verification, some checkpoints. If in automation, because we are not sitting on the table, a chair to look the execution, at that time we will not sit. So we started running the test cases. Suppose that 100 test cases we are running, that is taking 2 hours to execute all the tests. So after 2 hours, we will come and see the reports, see the result. Okay. So during the execution, we need to make sure application is open, URL is open. That is right. So how we know when we are running the test, URL is open correctly or not? Okay, so there are multiple things we can do. We can verify the titles. We can verify some fields here like Facebook logo, these texts, okay, to make sure URL is open, application is open. When we click on the forget password button, right? Forget password, page is opened or not, how we know? So we need some checkpoints, like suppose that we are verifying this text is available, because in the previous page, this find your account is not available, right? When it open the new page, when it will come on the forget password page, then here we can see the find your account message. Okay, so we need verification. We need to verify we are navigating the application in automation correct way, and which page we are looking, that is open or not.
Sir, this is the second step of test case.
Which one?
The get title.
No, not this. All these are based on requirement.
Okay, sir.
Right? When you are writing the test cases, right? So what you are doing, suppose that in this case, I will create here, I navigated the URL, right? First step, I navigated the Facebook URL. Then I enter the username. Then I enter the password. Then I click on the login button. So if needed, you can verify the title. This is not mandatory for this, right? Because you are going to check the login functionality. So for login functionality, you need to navigate the URL. First step. Second step, you need to make sure your input box is available, login button is available. Enter the username, enter the password, and click on login button. Once the login is done, you click on login button. You need to verify user is successfully logged in, right? Maybe you will verify some dashboard, something. So this is the steps. So here you don't need to use the get title. But what I am going to teach you here, I am going to teach you different functionality of the Selenium WebDriver, so that you are aware the functionality of the Selenium WebDriver, and in your test cases where required you can apply.
Sure, sir.
Clear?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So that's why I'm going to teach you different functionality which is provided by the Selenium WebDriver, so that in your test cases, if that is applicable, that is required, you can use. Right? Suppose that example, if you don't know how we verify, how we click on the login button using Selenium WebDriver, then you will stuck, right? But if you know there is a driver.findElement, there is a click method, we can use that method to click on login button. Then you can directly use that method. Okay, like suppose that when I click on the create new account button, this is taking few seconds, maybe few milliseconds, right? But your test is failing. But if you don't know, we have a method right? Implicit wait. If you don't know, then how you will handle this? If you don't know how, we have a three.sleep, which we will use, that will handle this. Means this delay will handle. If you don't know how you will handle that. But if we are facing here the issue and we are aware there is implicit wait, there is explicit wait provided by Selenium, so you can apply it. Clear?
Sir, thank you so much.
Okay, so don't confuse. Here we are learning the Selenium functions, Selenium functionality. It's not mandatory to use anywhere. Means in each test case. So these are not mandatory. Okay, so next we have method getCurrentURL. So if you want to get the source of the page, suppose that some cases, sometimes we need to verify, right? In the source code, we need to verify there is no error message in the source code, right? There are some value if you want to verify that is available in the source code or not. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver is providing. Selenium WebDriver provides a method for this also, where we can capture the source code. So we can call the driver.getPageSource. Okay, this method will return the complete page source. You can see this is source code. Complete source code is coming. Okay, these are the few methods which we can use directly by using Selenium driver methods, right? You can see driver.getPageSource, driver.title, driver.currentURL, right? These methods are related to driver object directly we can call. Okay, so next is the sometime we need to verify some text, right? That text is appeared or not, that text is coming or not. Like suppose that on this home page, we need to verify after the logo, we have a message. Facebook helps you connect and share with the pupil in your life. Okay, so if you want to verify this message is coming here or not, so what we need to do, manually you can read and you can verify, right? But in automation, we need to handle this by using the code. So what we need to do, first step, we need to read the text. So if you want to get the text, read the text using the Selenium code, then we need locator of this text. So this is coming under the S2 tag. So let's add /h2 /h2. So one element we are getting. Okay, so directly you can see using that tag we can highlight this. So now copy this. Don't need to use any attribute. Okay, because the HTML tag is sufficient to identify this locator, because there is only one H2 tags available in the page. Okay, now go here. You need to call the driver dot find element by dot xpath h2 dot getText. So there is a method getText. Using this method, we can read the text from the page. Okay, for any locator. And we can store them in a variable because this method will return the value. Return the value means it will read the text from the page to corresponding locators. Okay, and then we can store in a variable. Here we can apply assert dot assert equal variable and then this value. Facebook helps you connect and share with the people in your life. Second argument. Okay, 1 minute. It's moved the next page, right? We are expecting this on the first page. So let me comment this code, this one. Now I'm not clicking on the forget password button, so it will stay on the same page. Working. Okay, so sometimes we need to verify the attribute value. Like we need to verify this input box contains the placeholders, email address or phone numbers, and this contains the password. If we want to verify this, okay, then this is not text. This email address or phone number, this is not coming between the tags. There is only one tag. If I talk this one, right, this is coming under the S2 opening tag and closing tag. So opening tag is started here and closed here, and this is coming here. Closing tag is started from this point and closed, and the text is coming between opening and closing tags. This type of tag text we can read by using the getText method. Okay, but if I am talking about this placeholder, email address or phone number, this is not coming in any this is not coming between the tags. Between tag means opening and closing tags. This is coming as a attribute. Okay, here you can see input tag, type, this is attribute, class attribute, name is attribute, ID is attribute, data ID, placeholders, this is attribute, and this is the value, email address or phone number you can see here. So this method, this value we cannot retrieve by using that getText. How we do that? So for this we need to different methods. So let me create locator slash input bracket @ ID. Here I am going to use the ID attribute to create the locator of input field. 1 of 1. Okay, then here we can apply driver.findElement by.xpath. In bracket we can pass xpath. Then getAttribute methods. So if you want to get the text of the element, then we need getText method. If we want to get the attribute of the element, then we need to call the getAttribute methods, and here we need to pass the attribute name. So attribute name is placeholders, and this is the email address or phone number, this is the value. So we can copy here and paste here. So now here we are looking the placeholders attribute for the element email input box. Clear? And this placeholder we can store in a variable. And let me print on console. Printing. Email address or phone number available. Okay. If we want to use the assertion here for verification, just call the assert.assertEquals value, placeholder value, and this actual value. Like this. So what is the method we need to call to get the text, read the text? There is a getText method. If we want to get the value like attribute, so we will call the getAttribute methods. So any input value what we are entering here, if we want to read this value, verify this value, or suppose that some value is already present in the input box, and if we want to read that, so in that case, this value is coming under the value attribute. Where this is coming? Value attribute. So we need to get this by using the value attribute. So we will pass the here driver.findElement. Okay. In the attribute case, we will pass the value. So what is the attribute? How we read the attribute of the element in the Selenium WebDriver. This is clear. How we read the text, how we verify the text using Selenium WebDriver. This is clear. Yeah, any question?
Sadik, can you please give us an example wherein we have to use a value attribute using getAttribute method?
Value, okay. So sometime maybe if you are suppose that you are going to edit your user, right? Edit user. So when you are submitting any form, like creating any form, then in that case, maybe the value is not filled. Okay. But when you are going to edit your profile, there is some fields, right? You need to go, you are going to edit your profile. So in that case, what is like the previous value, right? What is the existing value that will automatically populate in the fields. If you observe somewhere, right, when we are editing our profile, then we are getting the data is pre-populated. Pre-populated means the data which we have already created, saved during the creation, like now I'm going to edit that details, that will already exist. Okay, so you can enter the new data and then click on login button, means update button. So mostly we are getting this in edit profile. Okay, so like example, suppose that you registered in somewhere, now you are going to change your phone number. So when you click on edit button, right, one page will open. So in that page, you will see your mobile number, your phone number already. So now if I want to verify the phone number is exist previous phone numbers, or we want to read the value from input box, then we will use the attribute tag to verify values.
And do we enter that value and check?
No, after the entry, we will not check. We will check. Suppose that one example you can take for edit. Second, suppose that you enter the details, right? You click on submit button. Now you need to verify what information you entered, that is saved. It means that is created. So
Okay,
for
got
that, what you will do, because after the creation, you will see the message successfully.
Huh.
But if you view your profile, right, you will see the detail.
Yeah.
So
got
maybe in some cases your details is coming in the input fields, but that is only read-only format. Okay, but how you will verify what value you entered during the creation, that is coming there.
Okay.
Okay.
So I
In that case-
input that in the attribute get attribute and then put that value there, right? The name or whatever that we have updated. This testing
Yes.
I would put there, right? In get attribute instead of placeholder in the example that you were showing in Selenium. Can you go back to the Eclipse, please?
That is the existing value, right?
So here where we put get attribute, the line 38.
You will
So-
use your value.
Oh, I'll write value there.
Value attribute. Yes.
Okay.
Because value is going in value attribute, right?
Okay, yeah. So it will be testing there, right? For the value attribute, it will be testing, right? In Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Let me show some example. Like you can see here, there is a pre-populated value is coming, right?
Yes.
This value is the input field, right? This is like calendar, and this value is coming under the value attribute
Okay.
here. Okay, so if I submit here, let me show. If I edit this, right, you can see there is some information is coming on this page. Okay, this is the kind of user details. You can add the data also here. Okay, and submit. Okay, so suppose that you added one data. Now you need to verify, or you want to edit that. Okay, so click on this. Now you can see this is the input fields, right?
Yes.
And the input fields, the value is already coming. So
Yes.
this value is populated because this is the pre-populated value. So value what we are seeing here, that is coming under the value attribute.
Hmm.
Okay, this is not placeholder. Placeholder is different thing. Placeholder is only first name. But once the value is coming here, that will replace with the value.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Similar type here, because the value is not pre-populated, right? If I enter here the testing, okay, and if I go and inspect, right click, okay, here you cannot see here the value attribute, right? Because value attribute you can see only when the value is already exist. When you open the page, if there is a value, then you can see the value attribute. But now if I enter the text, it will not show here value attribute. Okay, so if I want to read this, if you want to verify here some value, then this value is always stored in a value attribute. Okay, even that is not displaying here. You cannot see the value attribute. But if you will call the get attribute method in your code, Okay, pass the value at here. It will get the value which is appeared here in your input box.
That is only when it is saved, right? Only when it is saved.
When this is saved, then you can see also in your source code, in HTML code. But if this is not saved, right, then you cannot see in your HTML code. But if you will call the value at, if you will pass the value here, it will return you value. What value is present.
Okay, thank you, Sadiq.
And this is very important, right? In interview point of view also, if in interviewer, what they will do, they will ask the question like how we get the value of input fields, right? How we read, how we get. So in that case, we will not say we will use the getText method, because getText method will not work. Generally, people are saying getText method, right? So in that case, we will call the getAttribute, and there we will pass the value. In the getAttribute, we will pass the value attribute. So this is the question answer. So we will call the driver.findElement, pass the locator of the input box, then dot getAttribute, and in the argument we will pass the value. Clear?
Yes, thank you.
So text and value both are different. This is also visible on the page, right? If I am talking about this one, this is also visible on the page. And text like first name, this is also present. This is also visible. But if I want to read this value, right, here we need to call the getText method. If we want to get this Sirera or Vega or this email ID, then we need to call the getAttribute method. So this is the difference. So generally, if people are don't know, right? So they think this is also visible on the page. It means we can read this by using the getText, but this is not correct. Input box field always, even that is unread, that is hidden, means read only, you cannot edit. But if that is input field, you always need to call the getAttribute to read the value. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. So sometime in our test cases, we have test cases to verify the color of the colors. We now want to verify the font size, right? This is very rare case because mostly we are using Selenium WebDriver to check the functionality, not the GUI. But in some cases, some companies also looking to verify these things. Okay, so how we do that? Like we have login button, we want to verify the font size of this element. Okay, then first step we need to create the locator. So go to here, arrow, press, click on the login. Look this tag. This is the button tag. Okay, there are multiple attributes are available. So which attribute is a better, which will uniquely identify? We need to look that. Like this is the value one, this is not okay. Class is also, it seems some dynamic, some random values, so we will not use this. So there is a name attribute and login. So maybe this will give us the uniqueness. So we will copy this and go here / button square bracket @name equal to its value. You can see 1 of 1. So we can use this. There is a data test ID here. We can use also this, right? Now it's up to you which is better. So we always prefer to ID. If IDs exist as attribute, then second preference we will get the name, okay, and then other values we can use other attributes. So here I am going to use the name attribute. So I will call here driver dot find element by dot xpath dot get CSS value. So what method we need to call? Because the CSS is a cascade style sheet, which will use to verify, which will use to decorate the page. Okay, so cascade sheet style developers or designer, they are using to yes sir, we need to memorize all these methods. If you memorize, you know, you can explain better way in the interview.
Thank you.
Okay, so get CSS value. CSS is basically the developers or designers, they are using to decorate the applications, where they can give some values to define the size, right? Colors, background colors, font size, all these they will handle by using the CSS value. So if I want to check what is the font size of this login button, this login text, then because this is a part of the CSS, designer handle this font size using the CSS select value. So in this case, we need to verify the CSS value. Using the CSS value, we can verify its size. Okay, so how we see look the CSS? If I click on this login button, in the right side, you can see there is a style tab. This one. If I look here, you can see all the values are defined. Okay, 8 ICY dot 61 health, right? This is applied. If you look here, this class is applied here. In the class attribute, you can see these two is coming. This first is coming, right? This one. So this is applied. So it means now this is applied, and here font size is defined 20. So to get the font size, CSS value, we need to call the CSS key font size. So here we will pass the font size. It means we are going to get the font size of the locator. This. It will return the string value. We can store here font size. You can see 20 pixel is coming. Same 20 pixel you can see here, and this 20 pixel is coming. Similar type, if you want to check the width, padding, line height, border radius, okay, border none, background color. This is the background color, blue, right? Blue is coming. Font family, if we want, right? We can call this. So CSS value we can get by using CSS. What is the method name? Get CSS value. We will call the Webelement object using the driver.findElement. Okay, passing the locators, then call the get CSS value. And using this, we can get the CSS value, and then we will verify what is our expected CSS value. Okay, clear? So if in your test cases, which test case you are going to automate, if there is in some step, if there is a mention to verify the CSS value like color, font size, height, width, if you want to verify, then what function you will call? You will call the get CSS value, and you will retrieve the CSS value, and you can use the assert method to verify. Clear? Now these 6 method is important, okay, which frequently we are using in our test cases. So getText, more important than getAttribute. These two we are using very, very frequently in our test cases. getCSS, this is depend upon the requirement. Okay. Sometime in our test cases, when we are going to automate, we will see some pop-up like this. If I click on the click me button, it will open one pop-up, right? It says you click me button. Similar type pop-up you will see. When you will see this type of pop-up in your test cases, in your application, then after this pop-up, you cannot perform anything on the page. If I click on anywhere, you cannot do that. Neither single click, nor double click, not right click. Okay, we cannot perform until we click on OK button. If we are clicking on OK button, then we can click. Okay, otherwise we will not able to click. So when you see this type of pop-up window, okay, then you can understand this is JavaScript pop-up. Which type of pop-up? JavaScript. So this is handled and designed by the JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript code. So there are 3 types of pop-up is generated and created by the JavaScript. One is the alert pop-up. So this is the alert pop-up. In alert pop-up, you will see only one OK button. There is a message and then one OK button. So this pop-up is known as the alert pop-up. Next type pop-up, you have a prompt. This is. You will see confirm password. This is not prompt. This is confirm. In the confirm, you will see one message here. Then 2 buttons. One is OK. Second is the cancel. If you will click on cancel, then it will not accepted. If you click on the OK button, it will confirm. So this pop-up is known as the confirm pop-up. Third pop-up is known as the prompt. In prompt, you have one additional things: username, message, input field, OK button, and cancel button. These 3 buttons, 4 things you will see: text, input field, OK button, cancel button. 4 fields are there. Okay, now this is also JavaScript pop-up. So there are 3 types of JavaScript pop-up: alert, confirm, and prompt. And if you will see any pop-up in your application, you will not able to perform right click, single click, or any type of actions on the page. If you are not able to do, you can understand this is the JavaScript alert pop-up. In this way, you can recognize JavaScript. Okay. Otherwise, there are some normal type of pop-up is also coming, but that is JavaScript pop-up, HTML pop-up. Okay. You can see this is one dialog, but if you can right click here. You can right click on the page. Okay, as well as the pop-up. But if JavaScript pop-up is appeared, you cannot click, you cannot perform any action on the page. Okay. Now here in the manually, you can just click, it will handle. If you want to, this is a timer, right? It will appear in 5 seconds. So click on OK button. This is handle. cancel button or OK button, this will handle. Click on this, cancel or OK, it will handle. But in Selenium WebDriver, how we handle this type of pop-up? Okay, so let me create one alert. Alert test. So I created one method, alert methods, and this is the TestNG method. Let me copy here some initial code. Okay, now I'm going to use different applications, so I will name here this URL. Okay, URL is opened. You can see now what we need to do. We need to click. Okay, so first of all, I will capture the locators xpath for this element. But element locators we can create by using multiple ways, not only xpath. So if I press here by dot, okay, you can see we have multiple options. XPath, tag name, partial link text, name, link text, ID, CSS selector, class name. One is the by dot name. So how many options are? Class name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So anyone we can use depending upon the locators, what locator we are creating. If we are creating xpath, we will use the xpath. Okay, xpath will start from double slash, we have already discussed, and there are some set of syntax we need to use, like tag name, then @ square bracket, @attribute, and then equal to its value. Okay, but other option is also available. So there are 8 types we can use. One is the class name, ID, name, tag name, link text, partial text, xpath, CSS selector. Okay, so these 8 type of method you can call to find the locators on the page. Suppose that if I go here, you can see there is a ID is available. Okay, then what you can do, you can create xpath using the ID like /button, okay, then ID and then @ID equal to ID value. You can create locators. This is xpath, okay, but WebDriver will also provide option to directly use the ID instead of the xpath. So if we have ID directly, we can use this ID to find the locators. How we do that? In this case, we will replace this xpath with the ID and pass the ID value here. Okay, so this will return to you Webelement object. Then dot clear. So now here I am not using xpath to identify the locators element. What I am using, I am directly using the ID and calling the by.id methods. Clear? So these 8 types, any things you can use. So we have already discussed xpath, and this is the ID. So by.id. So if you have ID of that element, you can directly use the by.id. You don't need to create xpath. Okay, so when I use this, it will click. Let me run this. You can see it clicked. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So don't confuse here. I'm just using here directly ID instead of xpath. So xpath, you already aware. We can create the xpath for the locators, for the element. Also, we can use directly ID, okay, to find the element.
Sadiq,
Clear?
there is no particular reason for doing this. Just you're telling the other way, right?
Yeah, this is the other way. So I am giving you another example so that you can familiar with both.
Okay, got it.
So when needed, you can create xpath. If you have ID, directly you can use. No need to create xpath.
Okay, understood. Okay,
So
the
there
same
is a
can use. Sorry, great.
There is 8 things, right? You can use the class name directly, you can use the ID directly, you can use the name, you can use the tag name. So basically tag name we are not using because it will not be unique. Okay, one text contains multiples, right? Like suppose that in very rare case you can get tag name is unique. Okay, because if you use the div, there are multiple divs. If you will use any other span or some tags, right? Button tag. So there are multiple buttons are available. If I use the button, you can see 5 buttons, right? So if I use here the tag name button, then it will not give uniqueness. But in the previous example, you can use tag h2 here. Here we are creating xpath, right? Because this h2 tag is unique. So if the tag is unique, here we can call the dot tag name directly and then replace this, it will work. Okay, let me run and show you. So tag name is very rare case you will get unique. You can see it's worked, right? I have not printed the value, this value, but if you want, I can print. But here assertion we used. Okay, so the both value are same. So by that tag name we can use if our tag is unique. Only one tag we have in the page. So what we can use? We can also call the by.id class name. If you are thinking the class name, so class name will looks, you will find here. Like this is the class name, right? Class name is also not unique. In 99% or 95%, you will see your class name is not unique. There are multiple fields whose class name is same. So in very rare case, we are using also by.id class name. So by.id, if you are getting ID directly, you can use because ID is always unique. 99% you will see our ID is unique. In 1%, one case, maybe you will see two elements, both are same ID, but this will always unique. Okay. So we can use here like this. Now coming to the returning back to the JavaScript alert. Now you can see here the JavaScript alert is open when I click on OK button. Now let's click on the next button without handling the JavaScript alert. So this is the timer. Here we have also ID. For this button we have ID, timer, alert. Directly we can use.
Sadik, sorry to interrupt. Will there be
Okay.
a time when we'll have to test the JavaScript, that dialog box which just opened, we'll have to test that too?
Yeah, sometimes we need to test if that is mandatory, but we need to handle that. We need to close that, right? This is not normal code, HTML code. Directly you cannot click here.
Yeah, as in
There is some
how will we-
special method.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, how will we
There is some,
inspect and all?
sorry.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. How will we inspect and all? How are we
Yeah,
going?
I'm explaining this, right?
Okay,
I will
sorry.
tell you. Okay.
Thank you.
So how we handle, I will come on that part.
Surely, thank you.
Okay. So now you can see first I click on this alert, first alert, then there is second button, next button, by.id, passing the ID, it will click on the next button. So let's see, like the manually, if you found the alert, you cannot proceed without clicking on OK button. Okay, we cannot click here. But let's see what will happen in the Selenium test. Clicked, and you can see our test is failed. Why the test is failed? Because we clicked on this alert, this is appeared. Now I am trying to click on here, click me without handling this alert. So that's why here we are getting our error message, unexpected alert open, alert text, you click a button. So this alert is open, that's why Selenium is not able to click on the next button, next element. So what we need to do, if you are seeing this unexpected alert is appeared, you can understand there is some JavaScript pop-up is coming, which we need to handle that. Without handle, your test will not proceed. Okay, so how we handle that? So there is a method driver.SwitchTo.alert. Okay, driver.SwitchTo.alert, and this will return the alert object like this. Driver.SwitchTo.alert, and it will return the alert object. So as we discussed, there are 4 fields are available for the alert pop-up, any alert pop-up, even prompt. Okay, if we go with the prompt, here only 2, right? So one is the text, second is the OK button. 2 fields are available. But if I go here, this is timer, This is also 2. Here we have 3. There is one more additional cancel button. If I go here, one more additional input. Text, input, OK, and cancel. These 4 fields you will see, okay, in any alert pop-up. So that's why we have only 4 methods here. If you want to get the text of the alert, then call the alert.getText method. Okay. Using this method, we can get the text of alert. Okay. Let me print. Now, if I want to click on OK button, then call the again alert object dot accept. Accept means we are accepting the alert. We are clicking OK button. Now let me run. So here just printing the text. Or we can, if we want to verify the alert message, we can call the getText alert.getText method. Okay. Then we have our assert equals text, and this is the alert text. Okay, you will see you clicked a button. This is alert text. So we are verifying, we are asserting this, then accepting alert. Accepting alert means we are clicking OK button. So there are 4 buttons, 4 fields or methods are available for the alert. One is the accept, the second is the getText. Then we have a send keys method, which will enter the text into the fields, and then we have dismiss method. The dismiss method will click on the dismiss button. Okay, you can see alert is handled, and it click on the timer one. You will see. Okay, it's still running. Yeah, clicked. Now it click on the timer. Next button, and you will see the alert is coming. Okay, clear? How we handle the JavaScript alert? We can handle the JavaScript alert by using the driver.SwitchTo alert method. It will return the alert object. Then using the alert object, then we can call the OK accept to click on OK button. And if we want to click on the dismiss cancel button, we need to call the alert.dismiss. There is a dismiss methods. Okay. If you want to send keys method to enter the text into the alert input box. Okay, these 4 methods we need and are available. Okay, now next is the here we are clicking the next alert. Now you can see when we click on the timer alert, it will come after the 5 second. 5 seconds. But if I applied here the same code like alert, because this is the new alert, right? We need to also accept this. So second alert, alert 1 is coming here, and then I am calling here alert.accept to click on OK. But this is a timer, right? Timer means this will come after 5 seconds. But when we are running our test, so our test will soon it will verify, it will check alert is appeared or not, because we have added the code. So code is running in sequence. So first it click, then it will verify soon. After this is done, next line will execute. And when the next line will execute, then it will verify the alert is appeared or not. Means it will switch the alert. But because this alert is coming after 5 seconds. So it means when it tried to check at that time, alert is not appeared. So that's why we are getting errors. Now what error we are getting? No such alert. If we are trying to switch on alert, but alert is not appeared, we will get no such alert. If alert is appeared, then we will get unexpected alert is appeared like this. Okay, now here, what we need to do, because alert is coming after 5 seconds, and here we are verifying soon. So what we need to do here, we need to apply some explicit wait. Explicit wait. Implicit wait I have already applied here. This will be applicable for the elements throughout the driver object. But yes, sometimes some fields, some locators, okay, some piece of section that is taking much time to load. Okay, so in that case, what we can do, we can apply the explicit wait. Okay, explicit wait, basically this we can apply for a particular conditions. Like here, this is one condition where alert is coming after 5 seconds. Okay, so what we can do here in this case, we can apply the wait explicit wait. So for the explicit wait, we can call the wait driver. WebDriver wait object equal to new WebDriver wait driver methods, and here we need to pass the time. How much time, maximum time we need to wait. Like I'm passing it 10, and this time is coming with duration. Just a second. Okay, object is created here. For the 10 second, it will wait maximum time I given. Then we can call the wait dot expected until methods. Then we have expected conditions. Okay, then call, there is a method alerts present. It will check alert is present. How much time? It will try to and verify alert is present up to 10 seconds. If 10 seconds alert is not appear, then it will throw the errors. Okay, now let me run again, and you will see in this time alert will accept. You will not see them. So there are two types of wait: implicit wait and explicit wait. Explicit wait we can apply for one particular condition, some particular conditions, where element is taking some time, page is taking some time to load, where we can apply the titles for the titles. If the element is taking some time, we can apply for that particular element. Here alert is taking some time, we have applied. You can see this is working. Okay, so next we can click on the dismiss button. Okay, next element we can call here, this is the button confirm ID. Driver.find element by.id, then confirm.click methods. Okay, so click on this. We have two buttons, OK and cancel. Okay, so what we need to do again, we need to call the driver.SwitchTo.alert. Directly we can call the accept or dismiss, but this will return the alert object. Driver.SwitchTo.alert, this will return the alert object. This is the third alert, right? Let me add 2. Then to click on the accept, we need to click on OK. We need to call the accept button. If we want to click on the cancel button, we need to call the dismiss. Okay, let me run. Yeah, you can see here, it click on cancel button and the message you are seeing, you selected cancel. Clear? For cancel, we need to click on call the dismiss method. For OK, we need to call the OK accept button. If we want to get the text, we need to call the alert.getText. Now, next we have prompt. Okay, prompt type alert, where you can see input field like this. So let me capture this locator. Again, it has ID. Directly we can use this ID. Okay, click on here. Again, driver.SwitchTo alert. This is the next alert. And then if I want to enter the text, we need to call the send keys. I am passing here the testing. And then click on the accept button. Accept means click on OK. Let me run. Okay, you can see you entered test. What value we entered here? Test, right? Same value we are getting. When it accepted, we are getting test. If we are not entering anything, we will not see the message. If we are clicking the blank, we are not getting any message. If we enter some value, we will see here. Okay, so what is the JavaScript alert popup and how we handle that? We can handle by using the driver.SwitchTo alert method. Okay, there are 4 methods are available in this alert interface. One is the accept. It will click on OK button. Then we have dismiss. Dismiss will click on the cancel button. We have getText. getText will read the text and return the value. Okay, we have enter method, send keys method, which will enter the text into the input field. Okay, one second example. Clear? Any question here?
Sadik, for testing purposes, if we have to test the accept method and the dismiss method, how do you handle it in this code? Do we comment it out, like comment the accept once and then comment the dismiss and do the testing?
No. Why you will comment?
No, we cannot do both, right? At the same time, accept and then dismiss for the same
But
thing.
one time,
for testing purposes.
Okay. How you will do manually? If you want to verify, when you click on the button,
yeah,
you are seeing the you can do.
Yeah, I will click on click me,
Yeah.
And then I'll say okay. But for testing purposes, what if the requirements ask me to check both the buttons if it is working?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
And
yeah, same thing. If you need to test manually, how you will do that? First,
click,
you will click
and then say okay, then click me
okay,
and then cancel.
Then cancel, like this same step.
Okay, so I write it
Right?
twice. So I write.
Understand, right? Yeah,
Okay,
you will do 2 times, right? Otherwise, it will not handle.
Okay, thank you.
Manually, we need to click 2 times. One, click me, click on OK button, click me, click on cancel. Right?
Okay,
So
got
same
it.
way
Thank
you
you.
will do it automation.
Always we will use the positive and negative test cases, right?
Yeah, it's depend upon the test case, what test case you have written. If that is positive and negative, both you need to do, you will add. Actually, automation testing depends upon the budget. And also need to identify first we need to identify how many test cases we are going to automate, right? So if client is don't want negative test cases, we will not do, right? We will use only the positive test cases. If client has time, he wants all the test cases to be automated, then we will go with that also. Okay. Like suppose that in one application we have 2000 test cases, right? So if we start automating the test cases, not negative and positive both, maybe we will miss some positive test cases. So what we will do first, we will identify some test cases which is important. We will automate those test cases. Then next level, we will go and again identify some more test cases which is less important compared to what we automated, right? Accordingly, we will plan and we will automate. If client is okay to automate all the test cases, all the 2000 test cases, so we will automate. If we agreed only for the regression test cases, but we are testing for the test cases we are using for regression, we will automate those test cases. Okay, any other question? Yeah, if you will not ask the question, your doubt will not clear. Don't hesitate. If you have any single question, any confusion, you can ask. Maybe if you are thinking something question is not valid, even you can ask.
When will you use this alert method, sir? Sorry, I
Which
forgot.
one?
The alert
Which one?
method. Alert methods.
So when we use, your question is when we use alert method, right?
Yes.
So we can call this driver.SwitchTo alert when we want to handle the alert pop-up. Okay. And as we discussed, how know that is JavaScript alert or not. So if you are getting the alert and after this you are not able to do anything, it means this is JavaScript alert. Okay. And in the code, if you have not handled the JavaScript alert, you will see in the error message. If you are getting in error message, there is some alert is appeared, then it means you must need to handle that. Okay. Clear?
Thank you.
Okay, so let's take 5-minute break and then I will continue. Okay, so now let me start. Continue the next step. So if you have any question, you can ask. Okay. So now I'm going to show some other example. Sometime we need to perform the right click on an element, double click, right? Single click. Single click, you can use the find element dot click method. That will work. Okay. But sometime we need to perform the right click. Then you can see action will perform. Sometime we need to click on double click. Single click will not work. 2 times we need to click to perform the action, right? These type of scenario we can get in our test cases. But now how we handle those scenario, how we handle these actions. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver will provide you some methods.
I'm sorry, Sadik, I missed it. What test cases we are handling?
Yeah, suppose that in your test cases, some buttons you have where you need to perform right click, where you need to double click, right?
Okay, okay.
Suppose that this is one button, right? So same things, if you have one button in your test cases, now you need to perform double click, not a single click. For single click, you have method dot click, this will work. Okay, but in case suppose that you need to perform double click or maybe right click, mouse right click, okay, like this, double click like this. Single click will not work. I'm clicking, right? But if I press mouse, click twice like double click, then it will work. Okay, so if we have some such scenarios, such case in our test cases, then how we handle this in Selenium WebDriver? Okay, so Selenium WebDriver will provide a class. This is known as the actions class. We need to create an object of action class. Like this. Actions class object and import the package. Done. Then we can call the action method object dot. It has multiple methods, right? There is a click method. This will work. Single click, double click method is available here. Okay, so in this double click method, we need to pass the web element object. So for the web element, we need to call the driver.find element by dot. Suppose that I'm going to use the ID and then this. So action method double click pass the web element object. So this will return the web element object, right? We have already discussed driver.find element. This will return the web element object. Web element means which element we are going to click. So suppose that this is double click. So I can capture here the locator, create locators. It has ID, so directly we can use the ID double click. So don't need to create the xpath. But if you want to create xpath, we can create also. So I'm going to use the ID double click. Then here we need to call build method, then dot perform. Okay. So perform is important, build is not important, but in some cases we need to call also. So let me run. Okay, not alert. We need to pass the URL of the button URL, right? This URL. Then it will open the correct page. Okay, you can see we are getting the message. You have done a double click. Okay, if I want to verify double click done successfully, then we need to capture this. Means in automation, if you want to verify here the double click done successfully or not, then we can verify this message. ID, then this is the Webelement object, then getText. Okay, we can store in a variable message and apply the assert. Okay, let me run. Yeah, clicked and verified. Okay, so if we want to perform the right click, then we have a different method. Right click. We have here action class object, call the action class object action dot context click. For double right click, we have method context click. Here pass the Webelement object. So find element by.id ID, then click on perform. Okay, it will click on the right click button. What is the method we need to call? We need to call actions class context method to perform right click. If we want to perform double click, then we need to call the actions class double click method. Once I click here right click, then we can verify here the text. We can capture the ID, text one driver dot find element by dot ID, and then call the getText method. Then we can apply the assert dot assert equal text, and you have done. This is our expected test. We can pass here. Okay, done. So how we perform a right click, how we perform left click, double click. So we can use the actions class. Okay, we have method double click and context click. Double click for double click, context click method for right click. Okay, we need to call at the end perform method. So if we are not calling the perform method, it will not perform the click. Okay, so similar type, we can also click single click using the mouse. So this action class basically helps to operate the mouse. So using the mouse, we can click single click, double click, right click. Okay, so this action class will helps to handle the mouse actions. We can then click on the single click. If you want to click single click, we can use this. So now here you can see this ID we are getting. This ID is a dynamic. So we need to make sure our ID is not dynamic. What is the dynamic? Dynamic means every time ID is getting changed. You can see K4JVN coming. If I refresh, it will give us the different ID. So if we use this ID, this will work or not? If we use the ID value equal to JP0LW, this will work or not?
No.
No, this will not work. Why? Because this time, currently we are getting this, but next time when page will open, we will get different ID. Okay, so in that case, previous is not exist. So we will see, we will get no such element exception if we are using the ID, because ID is a dynamic. Every time the ID value is changing. Okay, so what we can do, we can use the other things. There is a button attribute. This will also not work because all the button has same type equal to button. Class is also same. This will not, we can use. So there is the next text we can see here. Now let's see, create xpath. So button text like this. Locator is created by using xpath, okay, and text. So we can call here action.click method. This is single click. If we want to perform the mouse single click, then we can call the, we need to call the click method. Driver.findElement by.xpath, then click method. Oh, then perform it. If I click, we will see here the message. Dynamic click message. For verification, we can call the driver.findElement by.id, then .getText. Okay, apply the assert method. Text2, running the code. All the three action is done. Test is run successfully. Okay, so these type of actions we can do by using mouse. Okay, there are few more actions we can do. Okay, that I will discuss in the next session. So now I am going to move for the TestNG. So in the last session we discussed, last time we discussed about the TestNG assertion as well as some annotations, right? Annotations. So currently I'm using only one annotation, that is @test. Okay, But yes, we can use other annotation as per the requirement. So I will discuss. But now there are some attributes we can use in the Selenium TestNG. Okay. So like suppose that we have 3 tests. One, 2, 3. So now I am going to discuss about the TestNG features. Some more features we have been discussed, right? So I am going to print here test 1, 2, 3. So if I run the test, what is the sequence? What is the order of the execution? So you can see this is coming in alphabetical order. Test 1, 2, 3. The test is not running from top to bottom. Means this is not started from first, then down, this. Okay. It will pick the test case in alphabetical order. If I move this down, still you will see test 1 will execute first. Why the test 1 is executing first? Because test 1 is in alphabetical order, test 1 comes first. So TestNG by default it will execute the test in alphabetical orders. What is your method names? It will run in alphabetical order. Okay, in alphabetical order, test 1 come first, then test 2, then test 3. Similar type if I use this A. So which one is run first? A test, because this is coming in first in alphabetical order. So let me show you. Test 3, right? Test 3 is A. This one. So by default, test is running in alphabetical order. But now if I want to run in some defined order, right? So why we need to run the test in defined order? Like suppose that we have 3 test cases. In one test cases, adding something, okay. Then in the second case, updating, and in third case, we are deleting. Okay, so every time if delete will work first, right? Then what will happen? It will delete all the data. Okay, and if I'm trying to update something, it will not update because data is not exist. All the data is deleted. Even when we delete, if data is not present, all the data is deleted. If I run the delete again, then what it will do? It will fail. Okay, like here, if I perform check the delete functionality is working or not, okay, in that case, if I run the delete method, how many times it will run? Only 3 times. In the 4th times, it will throw the error because there is no data. Okay, similar type, if I want to update something, right, if the data is not exist in the table, it will not work, right? Because it will ask, it will look first data. But if I write the test cases such a way, first I am adding something, then same thing I am checking update functionality where I am updating the existing data which we added, then at the end we are deleting. So in that case, our test will fail due to the data or not. it will not fail, right? Because when we add it, if the add is working, it will add some data in the application, same data we will update, and then same data we will delete. So our test will never fail. It will always work. Use for the test data, it will never fail. But if we are writing the test cases that is running in alphabetical order, it means that will not run with our order. Okay, but method name we defined, it will not work accordingly. It will, by default, it will run in alphabetical order. So maybe add is coming first, but then delete is coming, right? Because D is come after that. Update is coming at the last. Then update will always fail. Okay, so in that case, if we need to run in some sequence, we will give some order. Using that order, our test will run. So how we define the order? So in the TestNG, there is a priority, right? We can define the priority of the test cases, and based on the priority, our test will work. If we have one, it means this is a high priority. We have two, low priority compared to first. Third, this is low compared to both. Now, if I run the test, it will run which priority is less. Priority value is less, right? This is the high priority, but less value is a high priority. If we are defining priority equal to 1, it means that is high compared to its greater value like 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me run. You can see test 2, 3, then 1. In this sequence, it will run. Test 2, 3, and 1. So if we want to run the test script in some order, then we will define the priority. Clear? By default, our test will run in alphabetical order. But if you want to define some priority, then we need to run. If we want to run some defined order, then we can define the priority. We have one more test, test 4, not define any priority. So what will happen? Test 4 is running first. So why the test 4 is running first? Because its priority is 0. Its priority value is 0. 0 means this is the highest priority. So if we are not defining the test priority, then it will always by default is 0. 0 means this is the highest priority. So that test will run first. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Some cases we need to make the dependency. Here dependency means, like suppose that if I am considering these 3 tests. So in first test we are adding. Suppose that our add test is failed. So do we need to run the delete and update? Because data is not exist. If add is not failed, it means data is not available. Because we are updating same data. Then we are deleting same data. So in that case, do we need to run the update and delete? No, right? Why? Because we know that will fail due to the data issue. Because first test is failed, right? So in that case, we can make some dependency. We can make some dependency. How we do with dependency? Like suppose that this is an update and this is a delete. So here we can add the dependency depends upon method, and we can pass the method name like with test2. Okay, we can pass multiple methods, multiple dependencies here like test1 and test2 and test4. And this is suppose the delete, and this depends upon test3. Okay, what we can do, we can make the dependency. We can depend one method on another methods. Okay, so now test is dependent. Like suppose that test 3 is getting failed. Assert true, right? Here I am giving expected is true, but I am passing false. It means this will fail. Okay, so let me run. What will happen for the test 1? Test 1 will execute or not, because test 1 is dependent upon the test 3. Yeah, what happened here? You can see test 3 is failed due to the assertion error, expected true but false. But what will happen for the test 1? Test 1 is skipped. Test 1 is not executed. So in result, we are seeing test 1 4, failure 1, and skip 1. Okay, so we can make the dependency of the test cases, as well as we can, if dependent test is failed, okay, then if the test is failed, then dependent test will automatically skip. Like here, test 3 is failed, but test 2 is automatically skipped. Test 1 will not execute. If test 2 is failed, then it will skip both. Let's see. Run 4, failure 1, skip 2. Clear? But if you want to run some test, suppose that we don't want to stop, we don't want to skip, then we can call the always run equal to true. In that case, whether the test is failing or not, this will always run. Okay, in that case, you can see this will execute, this will fail, test 3 will fail because this is dependent upon test 2. It will skip, and the test 1 will execute, always execute, because we mark this always equal to true. Test 4, failure 1, and skip 1. Which one is skip? Test 3. Test 1 is executed. Why test 1 is executed? Because we mark always equal to true. We are using always equal to true. By default, its value is false. But if we are updating always run equal to true, it means that will always run. If we want to disable any test, right, then we have enabled equal to false. By default, enable value equal to true for each test, but yes, we can mark enable equal to false. Now you can see there are 3 tests executed. Why? Because the last test, this test we mark the disable equal to false. So when we are using enable equal to false, suppose that our test is not completed. We are working on the test case, test script, but test script is not completed. So we can mark the enable equal to false so that it will fail. It will not execute. Okay, so these are the attributes of the test attributes. This is clear? Or any question you have?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you one more time explain about the enabled? Like,
yeah, enable equal to false means if we want to disable any test. Disable any test means we don't want to execute. Like example, you have 3 test cases. Now your delete test script is not completed. You are still working. But if you check in this code, because there is some source code management, multiple teams are working, you will push your code. And now you don't want to run this in the execution. So what you can do, you can mark this enable equal to false. Or also maybe sometimes test cases, test script, what we are written, that is deprecated. Deprecated means suppose that functionality is not available, that is disabled. Earlier when we automated, that is available, so that's why we automated. But now later they have removed that functionality. So in that case, what we can do, we can mark the test enable equal to false, so that it will not work. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
So there is a features, we can utilize these features. But if you are not using, if you are to going and remove your test cases, that is also fine. Okay, we can give the description of the test. Each test description means we are going to define the test. Like suppose that this is login test, right? Suppose that this is the addition add product test. So we can also give the details like description of the test using description attribute. This detail you can see in the reports, HTML report. This is coming in this project. Add product test for login test is coming, right? Description you can also see in your reports. Clear? Or do you have any question? Now here you can see I am running. Yes.
Can we add description for double click and single click, right click, everything for those also?
Yeah, we can add.
Okay.
You mean Selenium test, right?
Oh yeah.
But here I added only one method, right? So we can define only one. So action example, right?
Yeah.
One test.
Okay.
So we can give the description here. Single click, double click, right click. Okay, so we can define this, give the details.
It's not compulsory, right?
This is not compulsory, this is optional.
Optional.
Okay, so all the attributes are optionals. If you want, you will use. Okay, so any questions you have? No. So what we are doing here, we are running the test. Suppose that if you want to run one test, one file, we can run only one here. If we want to run multiple Java files parallelly, so how we do that? So one we can run from the package, right? It will run all the tests which are available here under this package. So there are 7 tests are available. fail to skip one. Okay, but now if I want to run this test by using suite file, so TestNG will provide also suite file which we can create and run our multiple Java files. How do that? We do that, right click here. Suppose that if I want to, you don't have any sample examples of the XML file. So go here, create a TestNG test. You will get option TestNG here, TestNG class. Next, this is the package name where the test is going to create. This project name, source folder name, and then this is the test name. And here we can define the XML file .xml. Click on finish button. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, we given the wrong package. New other TestNG next. This is not source. Our source is only SRC, right? SRC folders. So under the SRC folder, we need to create package name is com.testtng. So this is the com.testtng package, and here we can give the suite name testtng.xml. Click on finish button. You can see one test is created, dummy test, and one suite XML file is created. And here you can see the package name is automatically added, the newly created TestNG test, new test. Here we can run the class. One test is running. Okay, so look the syntax. Here we can call create TestNG suite file. Okay, within on the top it has a suite node. This is XML file. Okay, and this is known as the TestNG suite file. On the top there is a tag suite. There is some attributes. There is one name. You can give a name of the test, like my TestNG. Okay, then we can define a test. Within the test, we can define multiple tests. Like this is test 1, we can define another test. Okay, here like this. One suite contains multiple tests. That's why we have here, when I given the example, we have a before suite, we have before test. So before test will applicable here. Before going to run this test, before test will execute. Then again, before going to run the test, this will execute. But before suite will always execute only once. Okay, let me pass here the example class. Running the test. So yeah, we cannot create both tests same name. This is suppose the test 1. So this is the test 2. So both names we cannot use both. You can see before suite is executed once, then before test, before class, first is running, after test is running, before test, and after test. But before suite and after suite is running only once. Okay, so we have suite, we have test, we have classes. Within the classes, we can include multiple classes files. Which class file we want to run, we can include here. Like we want to run this attribute also, we can include. We want to run TestNG Example 2, we can use this also. So 3 files and 3 class file are executed under this test and 2 here, 1 here. Now we can run. So all the Java files what we included that will execute. So total 10 run, pass 7, fail 2 and skip 1. This is the details we are getting. Clear? What is a suite? TestNG suite file is a file where we can include multiple Java files to run in a single shot. Okay, if we have 1000 test cases, more all Java files we can include here and we can run. If we want to run, not include the class, there is an option packages. Within package, we can include the package. What is the package? Package name is com.testng. So it will include, it will execute all the tests which are available under the com.testng package. You can see running all. So package. Classes. So what is the TestNG suite XML file? What is the benefit? TestNG suite XML file main benefit, we can run multiple tests with a single shot, with single execution. Okay, here using this we can run the tests in sequence as well as in parallel. Okay, parallel and sequence I will show you later. But now next is parameterization. I am going to comment this. Okay, only one set is enabled. So now I'm talking about the parameterization. So parameterization means we can pass the parameters from our XML files, suite XML file to our test file. Parameters. This concept is known as the parameterization. So how we do that? So first of all, we need to define here @parameters. Okay, in the parameters we can pass the value, right? Like here I'm going to pass the user. Second value we can pass password. So two values, these tests need two values. One is the username and second is password. So we can pass here two variables. String username, string password. This is not mandatory. Both variables should be same, value will show same, but this will store the value in same sequence. Like username value will go in this variable, password value will go in pass variables. This is same way like we are doing parameterization in the methods. We are passing the values from suite XML file to our test. This is known as the parameterization. Okay, one test is created where I added the parameters. It means this will accept two values during the execution. One is the username, second is the password. Now we need to pass these two variables from here. So we can define parameter name. We need to here give the same name, what name we are using in the test as a parameter. This is the user, right? So we can use same name. And then we have value. Suppose that value I am passing here, user1, and then close the bracket. Second parameter we can pass, and here parameter key is password. 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 Okay, let me run now. You can see username and password is printed here. So from where this is going, it is these values are going from here, sweet XML file, and pass in the user and password variable. And then this is passed to the username, password is passed in the pass value, and then this is printed. Clear? Username 1 and password, both values printed. So what is the parameterization? Parameterization is a concept of the TestNG. Using these parameters features, we can pass the value from our TestNG suite file to our test. Why we need parameterization? So that we can run one test with multiple data. Like this test we can run multiple times. One data, like this is test 3, this is user 2 and password 2. Let me run. What happened? Test name should be different. This is third. Both values are coming. It's run 2 times. Same test, param test is running 2 times. Okay, because we have here 2 tests with 2 set of data. Okay, so what we can do here, we can run one test with multiple data using the parameters concept. Okay, but now here in this method, if I go and directly run Java file, you will see it will not work. Why this is not working? Because this method needs 2 values, and those values we can pass from the sweet XML file. Then it will work. Okay. Otherwise, we will get error. What is the error? Test method, test param, but was not being marked as optional or defined. Okay. So because this is mandatory, when we are running this test, we need to pass 2 values. One is the username and second is password. But if I want to make this optional, so we can use this, use the optional tag. Okay, optional string and optional password. Now we get. So if I run, what is the output? We will get null. Because now both values are null. Username and password both are null. So that's why we are getting null, because value is not possible. Okay, but if I want to give some default value, then we can provide here pass some value. Like I'm passing my name Sadiq and then password 1, 2, 3. So now if I run this, so username and password Sadiq will assign into username, password 1, 2, 3 will assign in password, because this is the default value. But if I run this from the TestNG suite XML file, then default value will override, will replace by the value what we are passing from here. Okay, now in this way we can parameterize our test, we can run the test and with multiple data. Clear?
Sadik, I'm sorry if I'm asking a very a low
No,
question.
so you can
Um,
ask.
I'm understanding this part. I'm understanding the whole thing. I am not able to understand the flow. Can you please explain me the flow once, like who's calling what, and I mean why this param test is calling this XML, and what is this being? I mean the flow. What is calling what, and then what is?
Okay. So from where we are running from TestNG Suite XML file, right? We added here two parameters and calling the param.test. So when I am running the test from Suite XML file, then it means we are calling the param.test, right?
Okay,
We
yeah.
are going to execute this param test. And now these two values will also pass from the Suite XML file to param test.
Okay.
When we are running it. When these two values will pass, so where this will assign. We have username and password. So go to the param test. Here we have same value, same name, user and password.
What
So
is
both
add parameters here?
sorry,
What is add parameters here? It's an annotation.
add that parameter, right? This
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the TestNG annotation.
Okay.
You can see class name difference here imported.
Okay.
Okay, now these two values will assign from Suite XML file to username and password. Then this username will go in the first argument. Second value will go in the second argument.
Understood.
Okay, but when we are running from here, then we are not passing the value, right?
Yeah.
The value we can pass from Suite XML file.
Yep.
That's why here we are getting, when we are not marking this optional, it means this is mandatory.
Yeah.
If we have not added this,
Yeah.
right? These two. It means now the username and password is mandatory. You need to pass the value.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why we are getting error.
Error. Yeah.
You cannot run directly from here. But if we want to run here, then we can make some optional.
Yeah.
We can give some value as optional.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Now where this we can use in our automation. So let me copy this suite file, same file in our Selenium test. Okay. We have one test here. And let's go here, Selenium example. This is example. We can call this example package name here in both tests. Right? Both tests. Then this is the com.test package. Com.test. This is clear or not? So I'm not doing any new things, just created two tests. One is suppose that for Chrome, second is for Firefox. Okay, and I am calling here the test, updating the com.test.selenium example, and here also I am calling the same test, com.selenium example. Okay, now if I run this test, so Selenium example will run 2 times, right? Because we have 2 tests, so it will run 2 times. Running on Edge browsers. One is executed, then again it will launch the new browser for the test 2 and it will go. Okay, 2 times running. But now our goal is to run the test, one in the Chrome and second is the Firefox. Then how we do that? So in that case, we will modify our test such a way. Okay, so there is one parent interface. So we will discuss more in Java concept. What is the parent? But as of now, you can understand when we are creating the object of these classes, we can store in parent class variables. So like we have a parent class, so we can define here instance variables. Okay, we already discussed about the instance variables. I created one instance variable, driver, WebDriver driver. This WebDriver is a parent of each and every classes. So we can store the object of child class into parent class. So we can replace this edge driver with driver object. No need to create here the driver, because WebDriver object I created here reference variable, and the WebDriver reference variable I am storing the edge browser object. Okay. Now we have 3 browsers. If you want to create the Chrome browser, we can launch Chrome. If you want to run Firefox, then we need to do Edge browser. Now first it will create and store here. Second, it will create and replace the object. So at the end we will see the Edge browser, right? 3 browser will launch, but at the end we will get the Edge browser will work. But now we want to run this sometime on Edge browser or Chrome browser, Firefox, like this. So what we can do here, we can here use the parameters. Because if we get some value, right, and we can decide based on the value, we can add the condition. If suppose that Chrome, then it will create the Chrome browser. Else if this is Firefox, condition we have already discussed, right? If else this is Firefox, then it will launch the browser of Firefox. At the end, else if nothing above, then it will launch. It should run Edge browser. So we can make the condition like this. In this case, always one browser will run, right? Because either this or this or this, one browser will launch. Now, if we can pass here the parameters like parameters, and then here we can pass the value browser. One variable I created browser type. Okay. Then again we need to use here variable browser type. Okay. The value what we pass from the suite file, that will come here. So we can compare here if the browser type dot equals, so equal is string methods to Chrome, then we run the Chrome browser. Else we can check if browser type equals with Firefox, then we will run Firefox browser. So I make one condition. So based on the value, it will decide to launch the browser. Okay, now coming to the suite file. So this is the browser type as a parameters. So we can use this parameter here in both tests. And if I pass here in one parameters, I am passing here Chrome, and second parameters I am passing here Firefox. Okay, and let me run. So when this value will go, it means the Chrome browser type value Chrome will pass into the Selenium example test here, and the Chrome will assign to the here. Now browser type value is Chrome, so it will check browser type equals Chrome. Yes, so it will launch the Chrome browser. It will not execute these two. Next time when we are passing here the Firefox in next test, we are passing Firefox. Firefox will go and store in a browser type variables, and it will check if the browser type equals Chrome. No, because this is Firefox. It will again go and check if browser type equals Firefox. It will launch the Firefox browser. So in this way, we can run one test on multiple browsers same times, right? So running the Chrome. Now next is launch the Firefox. Okay. So in this way, we can run the test. We can also add one more. This is the edge. We can pass here edge. By default, it will run on edge because we have not made the edge conditions. So now if I run this, it will run all the 3 browsers. This is the edge. Need to give different name because Firefox name is already given. Chrome, then Firefox, then Edge browser. Okay, test is running on all the three browsers in sequence. This is not parallel. We can also run the parallel on all the three browsers or multiple browsers. We can run the test parallelly. We will more discuss in the next session. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions before going to wrap up the session. Okay, any question you have? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we can wrap up this session and then we will connect and continue in next session. Okay.
Thank you, Sadik.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks everyone. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you.